everybody, we're back here on Inside the Ropes, and this is an interview I never thought we would get to do. It is the one and only Jesse the Body Ventura. Jesse, from a Scotsman to a Minneapolis man, hello.
How you doing? Great to be here.
In 1989, you become governor of Minnesota. All of a sudden, on WWF television, they love Jesse Ventura again. There's video packages for you, there's a videotape they release for you, and then in 1999, you come back and you're the guest referee at SummerSlam. What did it take to make you come back? Did Vince have to grovel? Like, what was the process of, because you guys had a fairly acrimonious split.
Yeah, no, what made me come back, I'm not going to lie, money. You know, it's a business. And I felt very good that, and here was my beef. The WWF treated my election with great dignity and great response and showed me great respect. WCW did the opposite. They showed me complete disrespect. Hogan made fun of it and said he was they were gonna run him for president, where they made a whole big schmoz like Hogan's really gonna run for president. I had left wrestling and did this legitimately in the world. And for them to take a cheap shot like Hogan did at me, I was very pleased to work for McMahon because, believe it or not, the WWF was very respectful about it.
You were one of their guys and you made it.
Well, but I had jumped and gone to WCW. I'm sure Vince wasn't pleased with that, to lose the greatest voice in wrestling to the opposition. I remember he came out and said, gee, Jesse Ventura must be broke. When I signed, you know what I responded with? Well, if I was broke, I'm not now. You know, that's how I responded to him. But we ended up patching it up. They were very respectful. They came at me with the angle of doing SummerSlam in Minnesota. What could be better than to have the governor referee it?
And you came out on that show though, and you said, you know, some press have attacked me for doing this, but I'm proud of being a wrestler. You know, you even threw Shane over the top rope and all that kind of stuff. Was there a pressure for you to go, maybe I don't do this? Like,
very much. I don't know why. It was Sunday night. The Capitol's closed. My security's with me. Nobody said anything when I would go home to my ranch on the weekends and bale hay for $5 a bale. No problem. But I do something with the WWF and get paid. And by the way, I donated all the money to charity. I started the Jade Foundation, my daughter's handicapped, to help handicapped kids in my daughter's name, and the one I'm proud of. I started the Minneapolis Roosevelt Jesse Ventura Scholarship. I give $5,000 to a kid, and I've done it for 20 years now with that money.
And that's a great thing. And
I've given one kid a year from my high school a $5,000 scholarship.
You know, you and Vince McMahon over the years, you know, you worked for the XFL, you had the couple of runs with the WWF. What is your most memorable interaction that you've had with Vince, good or bad, that you still kind of think about a lot and just laugh or remember?
Well, I said it when I was inducted into the Hall of Fame. They asked me in 2004 when I went into the Hall of Fame what my most memorable thing in wrestling was. And I said, surprisingly, not in the ring. As a referee, wrestler, or anything, I said, my most memorable thing is this. I was the first wrestler in history that made Vince McMahon deal with an agent. Not even Hulk. Hulk had his Hollywood agent, but he dealt with Vince. Vince didn't allow agents. Tell me. I forced Vince McMahon to deal with my representation.
I'm sure he loved hearing that.
He was sitting there and you could tell he was not pleased by my response. But I say that because that's the biggest mark that I think I left on wrestling.
I just want to ask you two quick questions. We're getting wrapped up here. Donald Trump is president of the United States. It's a very divisive issue. A couple of days ago you were saying there's maybe the Green Party might want you to run for president. Is this a serious consideration you're making right now? And do you think that America needs to not have Trump be president given the kind of climate of division?
Well, I don't do anything in politics that I'm not serious about because the political arena is not wrestling. This is the real world. And there's nothing made up about it. There's nothing. This is the real deal. And I don't joke about that. I will give it serious consideration, but there are many negatives, because the big thing that you have to understand is that when you choose to start running for an office of governor or something that high, president, your life at that point is not yours anymore. And if you win, which I don't run to not win, I run to win. If and when you win, then for 4 years your life is not going to be yours anymore. And that truly is the dilemma that I will face in making this decision of whether I want to. I've already given up 14 years of my life. 6 years in the United States Navy, 4 years as a mayor, 4 years as a governor. That's 14 years. Do I want to go 18? I don't know. And that's the dilemma for me, is do I want to make the commitment to give up my life for that 5 or 6 year period for sure. And especially it's difficult. I'm 67 and a half now. The door ain't that wide anymore of time left. And you take 6 years, then I'm 75.
You could do it. But the last thing I want to ask you, you've been in politics, you've been in wrestling, and one of the big stories this year was WWE's deal with Saudi Arabia, doing the Crown Jewels show in Saudi Arabia with all the real life stuff that happened. How hard is that deal? Like, Vince is doing a deal, then something happens politically. What do you make of the whole situation that he has to kind of make a decision to go? What do you make?
I don't know, but if it was a decision for me, I would not go. It would be that simple. I would not go to Saudi Arabia after they killed that writer. The way they did it. Let's remember something else, too, for a moment. 9/11. 15 of the 19 alleged hijackers were Saudis. There wasn't one Iraqi. And I still want to know why we attacked Iraq. They didn't have nothing to do with it. They were all Saudis. So I have a great problem with that country. They seem to be friends, but they seem to be the kind of friend that'll stick you in the back when needed. That's not a real friend, is it?
Jesse, you always shoot from the hip. That's what we love about you. I want to thank you very much, and I'm going to steal your jacket before you leave today.